Do you want to start a business to give your family more freedom?
Do you desire to have a marriage that makes your friends jealous?
Do you want to spend more quality time with your children?
We are your hosts, Matt and Jocelyn Woodruff, and we cannot wait to share this journey with you.
Welcome to our family-friendly podcast. Join our conversations where we talk about how to build a business that will give us the freedom we choose.
Welcome to the Family Life Movement Podcast.
Let's switch gears here for a little bit. And in case you guys hear anything, Family Life Movement, you know that we love having our kids on the podcast with us. We've got Naya, our 20-month-old. 22 months, excuse me. So, hi, Naya. If she decides to talk, she's saying hi, giving you guys a shout out. And we love having our kids to where they can make a special appearance on the show. So, Stacey, business owners are definitely feeling the effects of these trying times. We've got businesses that are shut down, businesses that are, what do we do? Businesses who have filed bankruptcy and different things like that. So when somebody has to wear the different hats in their business, it can stress people out.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think that's any secret. So what are some of the key stress points that business owners are currently dealing with today?
You know, the stress is just the responsibility of, you have to make sure that your employees are safe. You need to make sure when you do go back to work that they're going to have a safe environment, a clean environment. Are they going to be protected from viruses? You also have to, all these things cost money. Where are the owners of these businesses getting the money? They haven't been working for the past month and a half or so. Business has been taking a toll, restaurants, so many different places, you have, doctor's offices that are afraid to see patients because, they're one-on-one contact. We have dentist offices all over the place shutting down right now. Some of them don't even know when they're going to, come back up, and, we have so many people right now just struggling, and you really have to, people who are, in charge of everything and wear several hats, they have to learn how to take some quality time for themselves. I always suggest too, when either early in the morning or later in the day, whenever you feel you're up to it, a little exercise to get those frustrations out, to get that unnecessary, those unnecessary emotions built inside, get them out. Exercise is very good for you. Yoga is really good for you. The stretching and just the movement and the circulation, and the clarity of mind, that's another way to help yourself. And, it's easier said than done, but I always say, try to see if you can leave your job at work and come home. Yeah. And come home and not have that job with you, shut the phone off. But that sometimes that can happen for many business owners, because a lot of times I see many business owners, the phone is consistently ringing when they're home, because people are calling them, what should I do next? What's going on? I don't know. And what? But, somehow you have to give yourself quality time. Everybody needs quality time. And if you don't have that quality time, you're going to end up falling apart. And then what good are you going to be to everybody else? So you have to figure out ways to make yourself feel good and to help yourself mentally and physically and spiritually.
Absolutely love
great.
that.
Yeah, that's great. I like that you're looking at it from like the whole thing. Yeah, the whole picture. It's more than just about having income.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
100%.
So what are some morning and evening habits and routines that you've implemented to help you and maybe your husband and maybe your kids, and you're encouraging them to take on these new habits in the morning or the evening to keep yourself from getting stressed out? You shared with us a little earlier that you were slightly under the weather, and that can really get under your skin and stress to more stuff and more chaos. So what are some morning and evening routines that you've implemented, and why?
I think really good things to do is like to try to implement some yoga. They have yoga poses that you can do in the morning to give yourself energy, to make yourself focus. They have stuff at night, different poses that you can do and different stretches to help you go to bed that will make you a little bit on the tired side. A great clarity of mind, a little meditation in the morning is really great because it gives you a clear focus. You tend to think about things in a different manner than you would beforehand. If you live where you can go outside for a few minutes, go outside, get some fresh air, take a couple of deep breaths, have a cup of coffee or, a cup of tea outside in the morning and just look at the beauty outside and just give yourself some time to just refresh yourself and renew yourself. These are things that could actually, help you. And, I do them and it is very helpful, but I have to say sometimes, you find yourself on putting yourself you slack. Sometimes you're doing so good for so long and then you tend to see yourself slacking, so you have to really try not to slack and try to be consistent because the more you're consistent, the more it becomes routine and part of your lifestyle. It's when you're not consistent, then it becomes more of a struggle, to do those things.
Yeah, I really identify with that slacking. Like I'll be really consistent for a little while and then like something will interrupt my routine, whether it's illness in myself or one of the kids or something happens at work that's just unexpected or something like that. And then it's just getting back into that is so hard for me.
Oh yeah. You and everybody else.
And I'm just like, I'm sure I'm not the only one in the world.
Yeah, it's like it's really hard. So and even making a journal. A lot of people like to make a journal. They like to share how they're feeling on paper. And for people who aren't, really good about, sharing their emotions and they're not good with, opening up to others, a journal is a great thing too. Just, at nighttime, write in a journal, write a paragraph or so, and you'd be surprised how that feels just to get it out on paper.
I like that.
So what would be a good way to, somebody's listening to this right now and they're going, wow, I've never been that great at journaling, but I think it's a great idea. Where would somebody start? Would you start with like maybe a gratitude journal, or would you start with here's how I feel today, or where would you start with that?
It's whatever makes you comfortable. Like, people, you could just use a regular notebook, just like a school notebook if you want. It doesn't really matter. It's how fancy you want to go. You really, it doesn't have to be fancy at all. You could just, you can just date it and just start writing, things like that, can be really helpful.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Bless you.
So what are some ways that we can build ourselves up so that our business can really take off a little bit? Is there anything that you could think of?
I think, little by little each day, you take one day at a time and you have to set goals. You have to start and create goals and create strategies. We may not know exactly what's ahead, but if we set some, short-term and long-term goals and they're productive long-term and short-term goals that we know that we could probably accomplish that will make the road and the journey a little bit easier, we should start doing them. If you know that you're going to be going to work in the next couple of weeks, you want to do whatever you can to help your employees and to help yourself. And how are you going to set that office, or how are you going to set that restaurant or pizzeria? What are you going to do to help the people who come in there to purchase it? What are you going to do for the employees, and what are you going to do for yourself? How can you you have to figure out ways and strategies of how you could actually bring in productive income with maybe not seeing as many people as you normally do.
I absolutely love that. I think there's just a lot of people who are focused so much on the negative instead of using this as an opportunity, or as a friend and mentor of mine says, what does this make possible? There's so many people who forget to ask that question.
Yeah,
I love it because, during this time, we can use the opportunity to get closer to our family, to get closer to our spouses, to get closer to learn a new language, to learn a new skill, to make ourselves more marketable, especially if you're a business.
right.
So, other than the routines and yoga, what are some other ways that business owners can deal with stress so that they can get through this time, so that they're not just sitting here and worry and panic and going, holy cow, my business is going down the tubes. Like, what are some things that they can do to specifically deal with the stress?
I think communicating with other owners and other people is really good. I think this is a time to reach out to others in your industry and your field and find out what they're doing. Learn from each other. Could be a learned experience, and you can learn things that you never learned before, that you didn't know or you didn't realize that people are sharing with you. These are some things that you could actually, it could help you grow in a sense. Once this is over, all these different things that you can learn and read about and talk and communicate with others about could actually help you progress and become a better person, a better business person, and help you, and even with stress and anxiety, like little supplements like passion flower, or just little, lavender on your wrists. The smell of lavender, relaxes a lot of people. You could do little things like that to calm yourself down too.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of people who use, different things like essential oils, and having that lavender, I believe peppermint's another one of those that as you
Mm-hmm.
go and it, gets into your brain absorbs it, and it, ends up reacting like a stimuli,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like what we were talking about the last podcast about not being able to get out and go outside and different things. And so using those natural, oils, the essential oils and different things like that can uh, really just kind of relax you. I like the lavender, the one that you brought up. I know that's one that I've got several friends that use it, and it's one of their favorites.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people like either love it or hate it. It's like I didn't realize, but it's like 50-50 out there. Like, a lot of people hate it and a lot of people love it. I happen to love it, but it's
What are some other natural remedies that people and families can use that would bring that peace and that calmness to families, that would help de-stress people?
I think, doing like we mentioned, like, just together, doing things as a group, as a one party, and just having fun together, and, sharing events together in your home, like either cooking or, helping each other, or just, doing chores around the house, but doing them as one big group, and you end up, just laughing and having a good time with each other because you're in each other's presence. These are ways that you could actually, you can actually help each other,
Sorry, their 20-month-old is being funny.
That's okay.
So how can our businesses excel because of the pandemic? Do you have any? I know we don't want to necessarily focus on this being a moneymaker time, but is there any strategies that you can think of?
I think that, a lot of people have been, focusing on different ways to protect society now. So they're taking a move where we weren't really thinking about, the craziness and what germs could actually do to us. And people are now starting to take washing your hands more seriously. They're starting to take, wearing gloves and masks and being, cleaner, around the house, using disinfectants and worrying more about, how clean your inside is and even your outside, and thinking about germs more. It might, in a sense, if it doesn't make you OCD, it'll make you actually, look at things in a better respect, where you actually, take care of yourself better.
Yeah, I'm definitely seeing a lot of businesses that are still open talking about no contact, or we're trying to make our delivery services safer for you.
Yeah.
That's something that I think people are going to want to hear from businesses in the future. I could be wrong on that.
No, I think so. I definitely do. I think it's going to take time for everything to get back to where it was. It's going to be a while before everything gets back to the way it was. People are going to be very scared, and they're going to have a lot of fears and worries for a very long time. And, we're going to have to just work with it and help each other, and eventually, just like we got through everything else, we'll get through this.
Yep.
I like one of the things that you said before, that's coming together as a community, whether that's through Zoom, through, hangouts, through, whatever that means is, but getting together in a community where you can get together, you can express yourself to where you're not, and you don't feel completely alone.
Right.
Time. And I think that that's definitely one of those things that, can help, not only our business, but our business leadership. Our leadership starts with us.
Right.
It starts with us individually. It starts with how, you and your spouse are coping, and the communication that you guys have going on, love languages, and
yes,
how you're treating your kids, and different things like that. So absolutely love that. The great knowledge that you're dropping there.
Thank you.
So as we start wrapping up, who is an entrepreneur that you respect, that you know personally, that you respect? What are they doing, and how can we connect with them?
Let's see. I've worked with a lot of different people, and there's a lot of different entrepreneurs that I've grown to respect. And, I really, I really admire the people. I've come across a lot of doctors lately that, have really taken, this virus seriously, and their will to want to help others. And, I've just, like even my husband, he's reached out to so many to help others. And I just think it's, you know, I just, I don't really have one person in particular, but, Jack Cranfield is a great author. And if you really want to hear some inspiring and motivational uplifts, his books are amazing. And I would suggest he is a great person to read upon. And even Guy Lakowski, he's actually a great entrepreneur, and he started out from nothing, and he worked his way up, and he has great and inspiring stories to tell, and he's on the internet also.
Awesome. We will definitely make sure that we put those in the show notes. Like I said before, this is Family Life Movement. We're all about family. And yes, that is my 22-month-old screaming in the background. And so Jocelyn is going and taking care of and being an awesome, phenomenal mom. I think that is something that, as men, we don't give our wives near enough credit. So when she's listening to this later, Jocelyn, you're doing a phenomenal job. Thank you. So what are some of your favorite resources? I know you're in the positive market. You're in the self-image market. You're constantly, listening to podcasts, reading books, and stuff like that. So what are some of your favorite resources?
I love Lulu.com. Lulu.com is a great place where a lot of authors have published their own works, and they've come out with some really great books. And I even have published just a few on those myself, and it's a great publishing company, and you can actually find a lot of great authors there. And, I also, I was thinking when we were talking about stress and anxiety, I was thinking about how, so many people tend to lose their hair when it comes to stress and anxiety. And I've been working at, with this company called Hair Restoration Laboratory, and they make natural hair shampoo, conditioner, and hair serum to help regrow the hair. That people go through a terrible time when they start losing hair for whatever reason, and their shampoo and conditioners have helped many people stimulate and open up the hair follicles and stimulate hair growth. And I really like their stuff. I actually use it myself, and I've actually gotten a lot of people on it because their stuff is just truly phenomenal. And they even have stuff to make your hair thicker, and serum that you just rub into your scalp, and it, like I said, it works terrific. And I think they came out with that product, and it's just it's been doing an amazing job, and you can tell just by the testimonials they get all the time. And, I just, I just love anything that, a good story that, that helps people. I'm just, we, on our website, The Complete Herbal Guide, we have, tons of different experts that come on and share their stories and share, their different expertise in the different areas. We do a lot of different, fitness, we do natural healing, we talk about supplements, we talk about, all the different things about beauty, because a lot of people are interested in, how to maintain their beauty, especially when it comes to aging and getting older. We try, it's really hard, you start getting a little self-conscious, and, there's, we have like hundreds of different ways, naturally, how to keep your beauty looking good. And, we have lots of different healthy recipes too, because, nowadays we're a go-go society. We're always on the rush. And, well, before we were confined, we were. And, everybody was like, it's just hard to, like, prepare meals. A lot of people don't prepare meals, so we have a lot of different, quick and easy, healthy recipes, for people to do. And, we have a lot of different exercises and strength exercises. And, we have almost information about every condition and disorder and disease you can imagine, and different natural ways to help improve it. So we have a lot on that website. We have thousands of articles, and I just like to invite everybody to come over and to check it out.
Great. Are there any specific ways that, besides the website, of course, that people can come connect with you and your mission?
Yeah, I have a StaceyChillemi.com website. You can contact me there. I always have a lot of free books and a lot of free ebooks that you can download about all different topics. And, if you email me on the websites, I'll be sure to answer back to you for sure.
Great.
Man, that's awesome. Stacey, you've been such a delight to talk to. I know I've talked to you on my other podcast. And those episodes will be releasing, and not only that, but we'll have some of those episodes on the Family Life Movement, because there's been some real goals, some real good nuggets of wisdom that people have been bringing. So thank you so much for being on the Family Life Movement.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for listening to the Family Life Movement podcast. I hope you had as much fun as we did. To hear our thoughts on the podcast and to continue this conversation, join our free Facebook group by searching for the Family Life Movement. See the show notes for links to our guest social media and websites, and any resources that were mentioned will also be linked in the show notes.
Also, if you're enjoying the podcast, please go rate and review and send us a screenshot, and we will send you a special access gift. Join us next time for more conversations, tips, and tricks on growing your business around your family.
Thanks for joining us, and have a great day.